Okay, 65 Baja here. I said on a post on RC Crawler that I would show how to mount the Robertson Racing 32 pitch Gen 3 slipper on a stock Axial transmission input shaft. So this is my first how-to video, so bear with me here. I'm a little new at this. Anyway, you need to remove the stock slipper clutch. I already have it loosened up here, so I'll just take it off. Make sure you save the washer here and the spring. Don't lose the little washer. Slide the stock slipper clutch off. Mine's got a little bit of slipper clutch glue on it, so it's kind of stiff. Slide the back plate off. And here you can see the pin that rests behind the back plate. You need to remove that. It's a very small pin, so be careful with it. Okay, you can see that the output shaft has a little bit of forward and backward play in it. There's a problem with that when you use the stock slipper. Maybe you can see in the video here there's a little bit of a groove in the back plate. When I first tried to install it without spacers behind the pin, these bolts here kind of rubbed on the back plate. So you need to space that pin out so that it doesn't slide too far back into the transmission, and the back plate would rub there. Okay, so how I did that was to use a 10x5x4 bushing that I had out of an old Optima Mid SE kit from probably 20 years ago. Still have this, so I just slid that onto the output shaft. And that wasn't quite enough. You need about another 0.5 millimeter, so I used a 5mm washer for a 5mm hole there. It's about a 0.5 millimeter thick. I slid that on the output shaft as well. And that, if you pull the output shaft out and push everything down in there, you have just enough room to get the pin back into the hole there. See if I can do this without shooting the pin across the room. It's very difficult to find this little pin after it lands in the corner of the room. Don't ask me how I know. So okay, you slide that into the little hole. There we go. Center it up. Alright, now the Gen 3 backing plate has the little groove there for the pin. You just slide that right over and make sure it's seated completely. Okay, that's seated. And then you can slide the 32 pitch steel gear over the slipper clutch plate and backing plate. And I've already had this installed once, so you can see I already have the 32 pitch pinion on the motor. And the mesh is good. We got just a little bit of play there. Perfect. Okay. Then you put the large washer from the factory setup on the input shaft, the stock spring, the small washer. Try not to drop it like I just did. Get on there. Stay. Okay, and then you can put the nut on there. Tighten it down. Okay, that's fully tightened. And I believe the stock instructions should have looked this up beforehand, bear with me. Say to tighten it down all the way and then back it out 2 turns. I believe that's a little bit much, especially since everything in here is steel that I have in the transmission, or all Robinson gears in the transmission, and Robinson 32 pitch Gen 3 slipper now. So I'm going to loosen it up only one turn. Okay, that's about one turn. We'll try that. The mesh is still good, and that should be it. Reinstall your gear cover and take it for a drive and see if the slipper setting is good for you. Okay, that's my first how-to video, and hopefully it works out for you too. Thank you.